Have you heard about OpenAI, the artificial intelligence platform that has the globe talking and IT giants rushing after it? ChatGPT has stormed the market with its surprising abilities. Yeah, it's insane. Do you know how it sparked a clash between two tech rivalries, Google and Microsoft? Well, in this video, we will cover everything you need to know about ChatGPT. Let's hop right into it and not keep you waiting. Before moving into a bunch of details, let's first clear out, what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence that can answer complex questions in a conversational way and can answer long-form questions. It produces human-like responses. Has it been done before? This AI technology is considered a revolutionary invention that has been trained to comprehend the meaning of questions posed by people. Many users are amazed by how well it can answer questions like a person. This has led some to think that it could one day change how people use computers and how they get information. The jaw-dropping invention, right? OpenAI's ChatGPT is a big language model chatbot built on GPT 3.5. It has a greater ability for conversational discussion and replies that can be quite human. Predicting the next word in a string of words is the responsibility of large language models. Reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF, is an extra training layer that uses human feedback to teach ChatGPT how to follow instructions and give good answers to people. Now, here's the question that arises. Who actually created this ChatGPT? Do you know the brains behind this invention? It is created by a company called OpenAI, which is a San Francisco-based intelligence company. OpenAI, which is also popular for a deep learning model called DALL-E, is the non-profit parent company of the for-profit OpenAI LP. Microsoft has invested $1 billion as a partner and investor. They collaboratively built the Azure AI platform. Sam Altman is the CEO. He was the president of Y Combinator before becoming CEO. Do you know that no generative AI has managed to gain the kind of popularity that ChatGPT has? Let's see what is actually happening. ChatGPT is a large language model LLM. Large language models LLMs are taught to guess the next word in a phrase by using huge amounts of data. According to Stanford University, GPT-3 was trained using 570 terabytes of text and 175 billion parameters. Comparatively, its predecessor GPT-2 included only 1.5 billion parameters, over 100 times fewer. This change in scale has a big effect on how the model works, letting GPT-3 do things like translate words from English to Spanish that weren't explicitly taught with very few or no training samples. In GPT-2, this tendency was largely missing. Although GPT-3 does better than models that were trained to be good at some tasks but not so good at others. LLMs predict the next word in a string of words within a sentence as well as the next sentences. This is similar to autocomplete, but on a much larger scale. That's amazing! What do you think? This skill enables them to compose paragraphs and entire web pages. But LLMs have their limits because they don't always know exactly what people want. And this is where ChatGPT surpasses the current state of the art with its reinforcement learning with human feedback training. But have you considered how the ChatGPT was trained? Let's find out more about it in the following section. Don't you wonder how ChatGPT was trained? Any guesses on where the data was taken from to train ChatGPT? Surprisingly, GPT 3.5 was trained with a lot of data about code and information from the internet, like Reddit discussions, to help ChatGPT learn how to have conversations and respond in a human way. A technique called reinforcement learning with human feedback was also used to teach ChatGPT what people wanted when they asked a question. This is a new way to train the LLM because it goes beyond just teaching it to guess the next word. What's even more interesting is that the engineers who built ChatGPT hired a few contractors to test the output of the two systems, GPT-3 and the new Instruct GPT, which is a sibling model of ChatGPT. The overall result for Instruct GPT were positive, but what separates ChatGPT from other simple chatbots is that it was particularly trained to understand human emotions. Further, they are capable of providing helpful, truthful, and harmless answers. Because of this training, ChatGPT might question some questions and throw out some parts that don't make sense. Simply amazing, isn't it? It is a well-known fact that all machines and artificial intelligence have some sort of limitation. It is time to know what limits the potential of ChatGPT. ChatGPT undoubtedly has limitations as its responses can contain inaccuracies. For instance, it might make up false historical names and publications that don't actually exist, or it might be unable to answer particularly mathematical issues. So, let's list its limitations. The first one is the limitation of giving a toxic response. ChatGPT has been carefully made so that it doesn't give answers that could be harmful or dangerous. Therefore, it will refrain from responding to questions of that nature. A second limitation is that the answers will only be as good as the instructions are clear. One of the biggest problems with ChatGPT is that the quality of the output depends on the quality of the input. To put it another way, providing directions from experts results in better answers. Another shortcoming is that because it is programmed to produce answers that feel good to people, those answers can fool humans into believing that the output is correct. This is because the system is trained to provide answers that feel right to humans. A large number of users found that ChatGPT can sometimes give wrong answers, some of which are very wrong. It seems like perfection is definitely not possible to achieve. But what's your take? Now the million-dollar question is ChatGPT free to use? During this research preview time period, using ChatGPT is currently free of charge. People can try out the chatbot and give feedbacks on how it answers questions right now. This will help the AI get better at answering questions and learn from its own mistakes. This is something unbelievable, isn't it? Are language models going to replace Google search? ChatGPT is considered a threat to Google. People could rely on ChatGPT for answers to their most pressing problems rather than the company that invented web searching. But that's not it. Google has already developed an AI chatbot called LaMDA. LaMDA, Google's chatbot, acted so convincingly like a real person that a Google engineer thought the program might have intelligence. What are the uses of ChatGPT? Of course, ChatGPT will be offering a pool of services. ChatGPT can write codes, poems, songs, or even short stories in the style of a certain author. Because ChatGPT can carefully follow instructions, it goes from being a source of information to a tool that can be used to do a task. Because of this, it can be helpful while writing an essay on nearly any subject. ChatGPT can be used as a tool to come up with outlines for articles or even whole books. It will supply a response for almost any activity that requires a response in the form of written text. The intention is for ChatGPT to become a utility for which users will eventually be required to pay in order to make use of. Even then, more than 1 million people signed up to use ChatGPT within the first 5 days after it was made available to the general public. ChatGPT is definitely going to be the next big thing. So, how do you like this video and the information shared? Do you think it gave you an in-depth view of ChatGPT? How are you going to use ChatGPT once you get your hands on it? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to get in touch with more similar videos like this. Until next time.